So again, the tongue, muscular organ, found in the oral cavity. Okay, it
Yeah.
fills it. Parts,
Mm-hmm.
root, tip, um,
Pharyngeal part and
root, the
apex.
tip. Yes, the oral part, pharyngeal part, and then you have the lower surface. The
Mm-hmm.
root is the part where the muscles of the muscles of the tongue pass and attach to hyoid bone and mandible. The tip, we don't need to say anything about it. Lower surface is this. It's made up of margins. One, two, three, four, five. One in the middle is called frenulum lingulae. The two lateral to the frenulum lingulae, you have deep lingual veins. And then lateral to that, two of them, lateral to lingual veins, you have fimbrinated fold. Fimbrinated fold containing a lot of fimbria. Okay. Now the dorsum of the tongue is has all the stable that we talked about. The dorsum is the upper part of the tongue, divided into two, anterior and posterior. The anterior and the posterior is divided by something called sulcus terminalis, and it has at the tip of it or the apex foramen cecum. Anterior
Yeah.
is divided to have so many papillae. The filiform found anywhere, fungiform on the sides and the tip,
Mm-hmm.
palate in front of the sulcus terminalis. The posterior part is not having any papillae. Okay.
Yeah.
The innervation for the anterior part is that it has sensory and taste innervation. Sensory is by lingual nerve, taste is by chorda tympani. The posterior part is innervated by glossopharyngeal nerve. Is this hard? Is this hard? Easy so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Now we will go to muscles, either intrinsic or extrinsic muscles. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're done with the tongue. Okay. Now, the muscles of the tongue is either intrinsic or extrinsic. Now,
Yeah.
the intrinsic muscles are the easy ones. You don't need to know so much. They include vertical, transverse,
Superior,
and
inferior, longitudinal.
yes, cervical. Sorry, vertical, transverse, and longitudinal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Um, they only change the shape of the tongue, and there is no attachments. They just are found inside the tongue. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, for the extrinsic muscles, they arise from bones nearby and then insert into the tongue. Okay. They move the tongue and change its shape. So these ones, the intrinsic only change shape, the extrinsic move the tongue. And they include the ones that have glossus at the end, genioglossus, hyoglossus, styloglossus, palatoglossus.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see all of them are supplied by hypoglossal nerve, except for the palatoglossus by the vagus nerve. This should be memorized like that, bro. When I tell you
Okay.
muscles, you have intrinsic and extrinsic. The intrinsic muscles, they only change the shape, and they are made up
Mm-hmm.
of vertical, transverse, longitudinal, superior or inferior. The muscles that control the movement, additionally, they originate from bones around and insert into the tongue. Okay, and what happens is that they move and change the shape. And what are they? The ones that
Mm-hmm.
enter the glossus: genioglossus, hyoglossus, palatoglossus, and styloglossus.
Yeah.
Okay, innervations, hypoglossal. All of them is erased by hypoglossal, except for the palatoglossus by vagus. خلاص, that's it.
Yeah.
This part discusses where they come from. Where they come from. We don't care about insertion. Just memorize that the insertions, they all insert into the tongue. Okay?
Yeah.
But we really care about the origin. So if it's hyoglossus, you will know that it is from the hyoid bone. And
Mm-hmm.
styloglossus, it will originate from styloid process. Palatoglossus from
Palatine.
palatine bone. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Genio from genial
Genoid. Yeah.
genial tubercle of mandible.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay. Last thing left for the tongue is this, the nerve supply of the tongue. It's either motor or sensory. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The motor. We said all muscles, bro, see, supplied by hypoglossal, except
Yeah.
for hypoglossal, so vagus. So the motor innervation is hypoglossal, except
Mm-hmm.
for
Latoglossus.
palatoglossus bivagus. That's it. So we know two muscles supply motor innervation of the tongue.
Yeah.
Two nerves, hypoglossal and vagus. Deal?
Uh, yeah.
Sensory, we said the anterior two-third and the posterior one-third. Posterior one-third, glossopharyngeal. Anterior two-third, two things, sensation and lingual. Sensation and
For
taste.
the temple.
Sensation
Yeah.
is lingual, taste is chorotympani. End of discussion.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else is lingual artery or lingual vein. Bro, that's it. That's the tongue, man.
Yeah.
Easy.